guys? Welcome to The Uncomfortable Truth. I'm your host, Dirk. And oh my God, do I got a doozy for you folks today. And I do emphasize the word God in this context because something I just read on Breitbart blew my mind. Just when you think you couldn't possibly be more stunned, shocked, surprised, or completely dumbfounded, befuddled by what's going on out there in the real world, something like this comes along. I shit you not. I'm going to even provide the link for you folks. Are you ready? This was reported a couple of maybe hours ago. I don't remember exactly when it came out, but listen to this, folks. Christians told to, quote-unquote, pray in silence, don't disturb the migrants. That's not a joke. Let that sink into your freaking heads for the moment. Now, I am a lapsed Christian. I don't believe in anything. I'm not into Christianity. I'm not into Islam. I'm not into Judaism. I'm not into anything. It's all the same to me. I could care less about religion. But I respect the fact that people have their religious differences. They have their own religious worship. They all have a right to worship in their church, their mosque, their synagogues. But for the first time in hundreds of years, if ever, Christians are being told in Italy, where this is taking place, that they can't recite the rosary. They can't actually pray their normal way to worship their God because it might offend the migrants from Africa who happen to be living there, on an emergency basis. So let me get this straight, just to kind of understand this politically correct notion. These people, third world, quote-unquote migrants, aka invaders, let's face it, that's what they are. These Muslims are invaders. All the fucking strongmen have fallen. Hussein, Gaddafi, they're trying to knock off Assad, all the other ones there, too numerous to list off the top of my head at the moment's notice. They're all gone. All of these Muslims from all across the Middle Eastern map are coming through Europe in record numbers. And they're being coddled, they're being taken care of, they're being housed, they're being clothed, they're being fed, they're being bathed, they're being given medicine, inoculated, I guess would be the word, over the populace of Christians. Now, I'm not saying just white Christians, because a lot of people say, well, Europe is made of white people, and that would be true, in essence. A lot of you guys will point fingers at Europeans and say that you guys all should go back to Europe when you want to tell us that we colonialized, we enslaved, we killed, we did this, we did that. So in essence, it is a white Christian background there. But there's other people, other cultures, there's other forms of Christians as well. Everybody who's a Christian from the Middle East, regardless of color, is on the run for their lives. And from what I'm hearing, the rumor is they're not even being allowed to cross over like the Muslims are. It's a systematic attempt to eliminate Christians the world over. I can't say that it isn't. I do not give a shit about Christianity. I want to make that perfectly clear. But I'm not an idiot either. I could see the forest for the trees. I could see that there's something going on. And it isn't good. Whatever you want to call them. The globalists. The New World Order. The United States government. The UK parliament. You want to call them, the Muslim, the imams, the Zionists. Whoever the fuck you want to blame in this. I actually think they're all in cahoots together. You see, people always want to point a finger at someone singularly and say, it's the Jews. They're the ones. No. It's everybody. Everybody loves power. Everybody loves influence. Everybody loves money. Everything's about who's on top and who's on the bottom. And more than ever, the world over, they're actually screwing around with your basic rights, your freedom of speech, particularly in the West, where it mostly originates from. And they're basically fucking with you every step of the way to try to stifle you, silence you. They don't want you getting out of control. They don't want any further French revolutions or another fucking Nazi socialist party rising up to power. Do you understand? They're afraid of any type of recourse that a person might have. I get that. They're trying to stay in power any way, shape, or form that they can. This is all done by design. I keep telling people who keep saying stuff like, oh, these fucking people, this is all like spineless Western leaders. No, it isn't. In some cases, maybe yes. Actually, this is a carefully designed, carefully crafted master plan to destroy from within and or eliminate the old way. They don't give two shits about you nor I. The simple fact of the matter is Let me read this article by Virginia Hale just briefly. Parishioners visiting a church in Italy were told that they must, quote-unquote, pray in silence so as not to disturb African migrants being housed there. Some of the faithful hoping to practice to Christianity at the Church of St. Anthony in Ventimiglia were surprised when they were told by Caritas volunteers that they couldn't recite the rosary and would instead have to pray in silence out of respect to migrants who were living there. Caritas is ostensibly a Catholic charity, although much of its resources are spent on facilitating mass migration to Europe. Yada, yada, yada. The northern Italian town of 55,000 people have recently been overwhelmed with hundreds of migrants. More than 50 Africans have been crossing into Ventimiglia every day, hoping that from there they'll be able to enter France. The town's mayor, Enrico Icolano, has said that this is a quote-unquote untenable situation. So, guys, basically you're helping people who are screaming for help. They need to come in there. They need a better way of life, a change. They need medicine. They need food. They need clothes. They need a shelter. They need help. But they're not assimilating. That is my problem with the third world Muslim invasion. They are not assimilating. Even my own parents, Slavic roots from Eastern Europe, came here. They still speak broken English, but God damn it, if they don't try to assimilate. They always wanted to give us our American holidays. It was important to them. They didn't want us to forget our European roots, but they wanted us to adhere and respect the American way of life. And now, as another generation goes forward and vice versa, and more and more and more, we're actually beginning to become far more Americanized. That is normal. I believe in my heart that that's how it's always been. The world over, but especially in the melting pot of the United States of America. Land of the home, land of the brave, home of the free. I'm talking a mile a minute, sometimes you stumble. But here's the thing, okay? These people do not like your way of life. The way they dress, the way they talk, the way they view you. And there's far more men coming than there are women or children even. This is a carefully crafted invasion where you're supposed to kiss their ass for political correct purposes. Why? I'm not saying harm anyone. I'm not saying attack anyone. I'm not saying do something stupid. We need to rise together and have a peaceful protest to let them know that we're not idiots, because this is insane. How do you explain to me that a group of people going to a Christian church, Christians going to a Catholic church, are not allowed to pray? Allowed. Because of the fact that it might offend these people. So even if they're offended, so what? They should be grateful to them and accept the fact that this is a different era. It's a different country. We need to respect their customs and ways. Oh, because they might be triggered? So wait a minute. They can get triggered at work, at school, at church, on the road, on TV, whatever. When do they not get triggered? This is a massive problem. People have been predicting that Europe is basically, Western Europe I should say, because East is not that bad at this point, but West completely is a powder keg waiting to blow. And it is our leaders who are letting it happen. These sellouts. This is why I'm saying this right here. The left is a problem, but let's not pretend the right isn't a problem. They're both a problem. I would personally say the left more so, but the right is no better. This is a two-headed snake, this system we have, and much of these systems across Western Europe. They do not have the best interest of their people in mind. Their people being the hardworking, tax-paying citizens, natural-born citizens, people that have been there for generations. Whether America, whether England, but particularly Europe, England, Germany, France, all these nations, Sweden, that have been hit by an epidemic of Muslim invaders, as well as all the crime that goes with it, that the media suppresses every step of the way. I advise any of you to look up alternative sources for your information. Click off the TV. Forget your MSNBC, Fox News, CNN nonsense. Forget BBC and all the rest of it. Look for alternative news sources. It is the only way you will educate yourself to what is really going out there. About Putin, about the rape epidemic going on in Sweden every day, about what's going down in South Africa, about what's going on in the sex grooming rings of the UK and England specifically. You would be blown away by stuff that's going on that's mostly tied, I would say, to Muslims in some regard. It's unbelievable. The world is a scary place, and it's getting scarier by the minute, and I am truly wondering what the hell is going to happen in 10 years' time. Because you can keep poking the bear and prodding and pushing until it bites. And when that happens, hopefully not, I am not calling for any violence. I want to make that clear. But it is human nature. You keep poking, prodding, and pushing. And when they start biting back, all hell will break loose. And the first pieces of trash that will run, flee, abscond, jump on their pricey little fucking private jets will be the same left and right politicians that caused the problem to begin with for their own nefarious purposes. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. If you agree or if you disagree, it's a free country still, at least this minute in time. I'm your host, Dirk. Hit the like button and, of course, subscribe to The Uncomfortable Truth. I got more coming. Bye, guys.